NRG head back to familiar territory, and with familiar territory comes familiar results as they walk away with a commanding 13-7 win on Bind, busting out the Harbor Cop, showing us some unique ideas, but overall just playing some good old-fashioned, good, wholesome Valorant. Of course, I'm Golden Boy here alongside with Mimi and Sean Garris as we look to break everything down. And there's a lot to talk about because, one, we got Bind again. I love Bind, so this is exciting, Mimi. But also NRG. You want to talk about holding on to your crown. These guys are looking great.
The game plan for NRG was so solid. And on that defensive side to start off, the retakes with the Harbor Viper were incredible, and the anchors were consistently providing value. And what I thought was so cool, it was a combination of what used to work really well for them with Victor on this race, popping off, taking space for them on the attacking side, with this new stuff, with the double controller, bringing in the Harbor, which provided them so much value.
Yeah, and the retakes in the first half, like you mentioned, it should have worked way more than it did. A lot of those clutches went in 100 Thieves' favor. And when you look back at the end of this game, you look at the 7 rounds 100 Thieves managed to muster, almost all of them were like those clutches, the pistol, the pistol and the bonus.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the 3 clutches they pulled off, it would have been 13-3.
Yeah.
Like, that was a dominant game from NRG. 100 Thieves struggled to find adaptations. Their post plans were getting ran over by the Harbor Viper. And in the second half, NRG did such a fantastic job mid-rounding. The fakes were on point. I mean, the round where they just Viper's pit into A to full fake a late B hit, it was just classic finesse.
And then the Harbor ult usage, I mean, I felt like every time Sam used that Harbor ult, the Reckoning, there was immense value that was achieved out of it.
Oh, I mean, just look at the range of that thing, man. It was covering whole sites like nothing. It just felt like it was present on the site forever, which is really some wild stuff, Mimi.
And the roles just made sense. The casters were talking about it, but this is so comfortable for Victor on the Raze. And Ardis was looking good on the Sage as well.
Yeah.
They're not doing weird stuff. They're not jumping the Killjoy around. They're playing something that is comfortable, and they're looking really good at it.
Yeah, but and a lot of people do probably have complaints with seeing Ardis on the Sage, but it's very common when you look at the history of Bind.
I mean, Cryo was doing it too.
Exactly. A lot of Jets move into the Sage role on Bind because you typically find a lot more value in the Raze, and there's not a lot of overlap between Jets and Razes right now in the scene.
Well, let's continue to break it down a little bit more. And Sean, I know you have a little gameplay you want to break down here, so why don't you go ahead and take us over to the telestrator wall.
Look at that. Right over to the telestrator.
Fancy camera angles.
Yeah, look at this. So this is actually a really cool approach from NRG on this round, and you can see off of barriers, they haven't actually thrown anything. The Viper Wall hasn't been thrown yet. Nothing's been done by NRG, but it's about to happen. You can see it's going to happen from the Viper right here over towards short like normal. We're gonna get the Cascade over here towards shower to block off the line, and a super heavy showers take. And it's Ardis' role over here as this B lurker to do 2 things. One, if a Sky Flash comes down bottom B, he's supposed to get hit by it. He's supposed to give that false info over there by B. And the second thing is what we're gonna see. So Ardis actually does a really good job of stalling out this market push from 100 Thieves. This is a super unique strat from 100 Thieves, and again, if we zoom in, you can see they're fully collapsing on market. And all Ardis needs to do as the Sage is just slow it. So he takes a step back, he ends up slowing this angle off, and you can see as we speed a little bit through this, from showers, this is the craziest part because that Cascade we initially saw has a 7-second activation time. And the second it falls, Victor's coming through it from showers, and at that moment, Sam is using his high tide to cut across the site, which you're seeing right now, and they're in between now the Harbor high tide and this Viper Wall, and this is when the Reckoning is used by Sam. And you can see the round is literally over now. We are a few seconds into this round. It's 1:23 on the clock. They're planning the spike, and we're in a 4-on-2. They're dogging deep spawn to clear out the Viper, and the round is over. It was such a good approach by NRG in just this round. It let me know the game was over at 10-6.
And the reactions throughout that one were really good too, because instantaneously it's off of that crunch that they're making that play. They are so willing to play slow in those early rounds, to play back and find that reaction, because that's one of the things that Harbor Viper is really good at. You have so much flexibility when you have both a wall that's recharging for your Viper that you can put up at any time to threaten lurks, and the Harbor Wall as well that's coming back every 45 seconds to help you out. It just gives so many options to your IGL in the mid round that Finesse just looks so happy to slow things down and take his time.
Yeah, it was really cool ideas, I think, across the board. But moving on, though, we could talk about it all day, but we got to move on because, look, guys, before you go out there and you click some heads, you got to click the bubbles first. Let's go into some aim lab shoot around here with Bang from 100 Thieves, but continue to talk about what 100 Thieves can do going into this matchup, in this map, too, because it's Fracture. 100 Thieves, Sean, are in a really bad position here, being down in this series, but also these are games you simply can't give up at the middle of the split like this.
Yeah, and I'm a little worried for 100 Thieves coming into Fracture. They looked good previously, you know, in this split on Fracture, on Fracture. They do a lot of pushes using Asana's Sky, actually. He's dogging aggressively on defense. I'm worried because I think NRG, better than any of the other teams from North America, can hold for these pushes, run defaults, absorb the pushes, and let FNS call a mid-round perfectly off of it. It's a nightmare for 100 Thieves if that were to happen, and I kind of see that being the case here.
And there's a lot less information on NRG. They haven't played this map since lock-in, so there's an expectation that they will pull out something new, that they could change something up in the weeks that they've had since then. And for 100 Thieves as well, I like your game plan. I think the south side crunches are really good, putting an emphasis on taking that space and also putting an emphasis on getting these orbs, having a lot of rounds built around those breach and brim ultimates. It's a sound game plan, but you're going in kind of blind against NRG.
Yeah, I do wonder as well, as I think Age Select's going to be coming up in a moment, but I do wonder, one thing that we noticed in that last game was that something that was happening was fast play, right? It was Victor going fast. And there's opportunity here for you to potentially, if you're NRG, to go fast again for Victor and just enable him, but Victor's instead going to slow down. He's got a job to do.
So this is a comp change. They were running the raised jet last time, so it is going to be a pivot with that Killjoy being locked in.
Yeah, and I like that out of NRG. I think the double duelist on Fracture saw a lot of play at lock-in, but we're seeing it kind of fall to the wayside now as teams have become more familiar with it. You know, we've come back into a heavy util meta.
I like the Sky pick as well. It's become a lot more popular on this map, but the dog provides a lot of value for taking control on extremities, and flashes for mid-round information can be super helpful on this map. As for 100 Thieves, it looks like they will go back to that double initiator comp built around the jet, and it's actually mirrored with Ardis locking in his own jet pick.
And I've said this before on this broadcast, but when I see this happen, when a team like NRG who has no footage on Fracture busts out a mirror comp against 100 Thieves, who themselves has a very unique comp, it tells me that NRG probably did a lot of homework into this comp for this matchup.
It also shows NRG, again, is leaning into comfort. They're giving these players roles that they're confident on, which is going to make this a very tough game for 100 Thieves.
All right, well, let's see how this one works out. But, guys, I must ask you a question. Oh, that's right. Are you ready for map number 2? Well, here come the Mustache Brothers. It's Brennan's sideshow. I totally made that up.
I'm disappointed.
He's got a ghostwriter.
He does have a ghostwriter. They need to be fired. There's a writing strike coming as well. They can't be working.
Exactly.
There's a writing strike soon. Who knows? But listen, map 2, Fracture. That is the map that we're going to be facing here. And I think Sean brings up a very good point before we even headed into this one. Listen, NRG, heavy counter-strat team. They love to do their preparation. They love to learn what teams are running. And 100 Thieves, one of the few teams in Americas that have been playing a lot of leaning into Fracture ever so slightly when it comes to their map pool. So a lot to glean from this one.
And then 100 Thieves also have very heavy set play, defensive aggression style on this map. They're going to be pushing out A-holes, pushing tree, south side pushes are the name of the game. And I think Sean's bang on the money here. I mean, look at what they're going for off the rip.
Yeah, flash to disrespect it. As well as the dash as well. Ardis taking up all this space. It's a refight is called.
It's all a fake.
It has to respect it. Yeah, it's a full fake on the pistol round, nevertheless. All this util being dumped in. They pulled the players right away. There's only one player who's going to be absorbing any sort of that B play. They are selling this so damn well. All the util, but Stella, turret's still active. That spot's out there. They are crossing onto the site, and the call's going to be made now. Stella noting. Quick clearance there of the tower.
That re-clear of tower has bought enough space for 100 Thieves to get into retake positions. 100 Thieves love pushing the extremities on the retakes. And look at the position of Asana. He's the playmaker here.
Right here.
Usually 100 Thieves are going to try and send people towards tree as well, but they didn't have time this round because they didn't control halls.
And this fight is so important over towards Arcade. First bit of a pump there towards Jenny. Wide swing as well. Coverage from the rest of his team. Asana needs to get a kill. Needs to try and find his one here to the side. Som, though. Enough time being bought. Stella pushing them back. Som low enough. A bit of spam. One chip damage will do it, but he still survives in the middle of all of this. And the post plant setup just too damn clean. NRG strolling away, a casual jaunt in the park is what it felt like as they win that pistol round.
How about a finesse masterclass on the pistol? I mean, we talk so much about how good he is at selling these fakes. They are beautifully constructed, and the other part of that too is he will run an A hit later in this half that looks exactly the same, but they finish A. He is very balanced in terms of the way that he runs these kind of strategies. And NRG just cooking up a beautiful pistol round there, which not only did it fake out 100 Thieves, but it denied them Hall's control. And 100 Thieves on defense are always going to be looking for the pushes on their defense because it sets them up for very solid B retakes, where they control these stairs, they control arcade.
Looking at Victor, despite a fight that might be about to be taken from Ardis with that dash, because Victor's about to be pushed all the way on the north side. Kill claimed. Backs away, holding close to the rope there, so no danger of him losing the gun and losing his life. Now moving forward, it's going to be smokes drop down. Stella anchored around Dice. Holding a close corner, he's blind though. Actually fired off a couple of shots there. Ardis, he should have been notable, should have been known at least still. Yes. It's going to be watched for there. There was a repush attempt as 100 Thieves looked to see if they could tackle them as they were trying to take the side, but no Dice.
There's those classics doing work again. For 100 Thieves, no rifles that they can pick up. The players that they're killing are deep on site, deep in NRG enemy territory.
The post-plant setup is a little bit too strong. 2 Vandals, the Bulldog as well.
It's interesting to see the way that Bang & Asana play this, actually, because I think that the way that 100 Thieves play, they need these ult orbs. But it looks like they're just happy to die to the spike.
Yeah, with Crashes and Victor so close, or not so close, but listen, halfway.
Yeah.
To that point when it comes to their ultimates, call gets made, so they're going to be going down to the spike to deny any of that.
Yeah. But the way that 100 Thieves like to play on the defense side of this map, they grab the initiative a lot. They control the tempo. Yeah. And I think often having ultimates really helps you there. It helps you grab the initiative way more aggressively. Another big win condition for 100 Thieves is getting the operator in Cryo's hands. Having Cryo op made all the difference the last time they played Fracture. He just looked insane at it. But instead, we're going to see a tree push. Once more. 100 Thieves leading into the aggression.
A straight-up clash is about to be taken.
Can NRG hold on? Is Sean right? Can they absorb the aggression?
The stun and a smoke to cut it off. This is a call, though. Look at this from NRG. They anticipated it. There was a stun being held, and they used the util to try and push them back all the way through.
Very nice. That's that part of the anti-strat that comes through. NRG are not going into that. Unexpected.
On Victor. It's an off angle. Potentially favored there with the ADS Bulldog, but no, Cryo. Wide swing, rips his head off, takes away one piece of the puzzle.
And Cryo's once again going to float around. He just wants to take as many fights as possible here. Ardis is completely alone in this spot.
He's containing 2 of the 100 Thieves players, but they have enough locking down this site. Both smokes were expended there towards the A site.
Finesse is running into A, making as much noise as possible, trying to make it feel like it is an A hit.
And it's just not the case.
Well, Ardis knows that these players are not rotating. He would be able to hear them if they had left sight.
And now it's NRG who are running out of the answers. They need Ardis to find an opening. It's contacting through, not making any noise all the way up the ropes. It's a risky venture from him. There could be somebody holding left. Just close, and he wouldn't be favored taking that fight, yet still he clears it out behind the dice, though. That's what they'll strike, but it's that pincer. And containment still. Safe hands from Derek. 3 in a round for him. Shuts that one down in a moment's notice.
A major round from 100 Thieves to stabilize and ensure that NRG aren't allowed to run away with it. Because at some point on Bind, NRG just turned up the tempo and ran away with that map. Like the Des was talking about, it could have been a 13-3. It was that dominant. And how are they getting that victory? By Cryo prodding towards tree and then re-clearing arcade, constantly keeping this guy active. And they still don't have an op in his hands. Normally that's going to come online around round 6, round 7, something like that. But more aggression, more tree push.
And this is going to be a staple of the composition.
But ideally, what 100 Thieves want is for NRG to take the bait and react quickly into their Killjoy so that they can set up fast flanking retakes. And NRG have just slowed it down.
Seekers, Trailblazer splitting up. It's a convergence onto the side. The dash forwards from Ardis. High ground contained, yet still Stella. He's anchoring, reigning supreme, and he's got the help of the rest of his team. Barreling through. A flood attempt to deny. Crashes. Showcasing some of that consistency, and at the same time, it's Victor as well. He's evened this up.
But the spike is not in a spot where NRG can grab it.
Cryo low enough, though. One bullet to the chest will do it. Doesn't need to be accurate. Stun, pushing him away. But you are right. The advantage is there. Spike out into the open. The fight wants to be taken straight to them. A smoke to cut off one of the angles. This is risky. Cryo potentially opened himself up there to many, many angles, but backs away to safety. Now a flash as well. Pushing him back, comes out to this! Oh my word! Crashies with 4 in a round.
Amazing round from Crashies, but look how antsy 100 Thieves are in those spots.
Yeah, not content to just sit there.
In terms of the pace that these teams are comfortable playing out on Fracture, 100 Thieves only looks comfortable when they're constantly doing something. Cryo has to be hunting for a fight. They have to be flashing. They need to be fault lining. They need to grab the info, because otherwise they start to worry. Have NRG outplayed them? Have we given up some map control? I mean, the spike was right there at their feet, and they still didn't feel comfortable to slow it down.
Yeah.
This whole map, it feels like NRG's job will just be to slow the tempo down. Here's another north side crunch. Do NRG react fast off this one? Almost every team has a protocol to push B.
And essentially flip the map. That's going to be a rolling thunder. It's used to push them forwards. Cryo trying to take up this space. Does he realize? Still Ardis is there, off to the side. Dash updraft, it doesn't matter. He does not survive. A flood in, it's up to back. Holding his ground behind the dice angle again, but it's watched for. And NRG looking so damn in control. Molly at the feet, denying everything.
Easy stuff for Som.
So rapid the way these rounds are happening. And yeah, you're right. Easy stuff indeed for Som.
Yeah. 100 Thieves have an idea there. They're trying to trigger this protocol out of NRG. They want NRG to push fast and then hit them with the breach hull. But when the breach hull came through, everybody from NRG was still stuck behind the brim smoke except Ardis, and Cryo didn't clear it. He didn't think about the fact that Ardis could still be inside that jet smoke. He thought Ardis was with the rest of his team behind the brim. So, massive flaws in round 4 and round 5 from how 100 Thieves are playing this. I mean, they let a 5v2 slip through their hands, and now they look rattled.
A timer has to be called. You've got to calm the nerves, correct the game plan, because right now it's 100 Thieves. Listen, they haven't really switched up too much. We know how they like to play. It's, heavy emphasis on the defense side of flipping the entire map, going for those north side crunches or south side crunches, really pushing through with the Trailblazer, trying to pincer those players and flip that map for them. But NRG are a dangerous team when you give them that tape, when you give them the knowledge that they can, push and pull you and do whatever they want with you, really. And that's what's really being showcased.
And part of 100 Thieves' strategy is that for the first 6 or 7 rounds, they're going to push you really aggressively. Then at about round 6 or 7, they give Cryo the op, and it starts to slow down. And they're hoping that the teams they play against are conditioned to have these really passive defaults and then just walk into Cryo's op. And it worked beautifully against Crew. Cryo was 7-0 in terms of first kills to first deaths. The aggression was working, the opping was working. I think this timeout for 100 Thieves, not only is it designed to settle the nerves, but it's also telling them to save for the op. Look at Cryo with a classic 2,500 in the bank. He is definitely going for the operator here.
Got the Blade Storm though as well, could potentially do some work, but there's no time wasted. Ardis pushing forwards and Util through. Derek's trying to reclear Jenny, but already NRG, I mean, they are taking all the timings against them. Left up to this, a close angle. Bang, he's got to hear that reload, and he knows it's there. That's why he's at that slight off angle, but it's one thing to win it with the Sheriff. Still, Cryo in the fight. Watched for. Dash, active. Dog in his face. Dash is back, yet still it connects, and he's stunned up. No more Util left to make the most of these knives. And time is starting to run short. That's close. Oh, he's taking a fight there. He's giving up a rifle, potentially, yep. Exchange, Cryo's got that one in his hands, yet loses the fight regardless. Nasno will do well to just try and save this one, if he can even get out at all.
NRG with the punish. They move up 5-1. But now we get to see it. Are they going to go for the operator? It looks like it. Okay, so Cryo gets that online, and this changes things a lot. 100 Thieves have had a couple of aggressive rounds still with Cryo opping. They put the Jet and the Killjoy together, and they triple push the others out. But in general, Cryo is just going to be looking for his team to slow the pace down so that he can rotate and find the spots where NRG are pushing forwards. The only bad part here to the 100 Thieves game plan is not only are they in the hole in terms of their rounds, but they are in terms of the ult economy. Can Cryo really hold these spots against a Rolling Thunder or an Orbital Strike?
Stun, Dog pushing him away. Dash still active, but Cryo's been isolated. He's been found, and the op's going to be called out. Smokes dropped. Time is of the essence. Orbital Strike to cut them through, and that's to try and isolate one of those fight, but again, just spamming the other side of it. Bang gets caught out.
Here.
Rolling Thunder, why not? Throw it into the mix. Pushing them all the way back, and the operator gets nothing done. Close to the corner, a fight needs to be won. It's Asuna, dropped to 1 health. Still alive, still in the fight, still in action, but what can they do here other than save? They gotta back away, and they're not even gonna get the operator out of there.
Wow. Devastating. Absolutely devastating for 100 Thieves. They went for a re-clear. Cryo and Asuna holding hands through door, looking to regain some hole control and put the pressure back on NRG. It all fell to pieces. And you see that sad blue X on the map. And there lies the treasure, the operator.
Not gonna be able to save it.
There's no chance.
NRG would love to hunt for some rifles here, obviously, with the state of the economy for 100 Thieves. Gotta stay alive, gotta stay healthy. Asuna's low, he'll go down. Single shot.
And with the Blade Storm already used, with the operator offline as well, it is now really rough. The economy in a terrible, terrible spot for 100 Thieves, despite the massive loss bonus. NRG running away with it here.
Look at the ults they've still got to use. I mean, I thought they overinvested in that round, but honestly, yeah, they've got plenty to spare even still.
Tons. That's the problem. The economy just got up to such a good spot. And to be honest, they ran Cryo down with normal utility. You know, they didn't even really invest the ults into him specifically.
Blinded.
Money all over the place here. What? The approach from NRG looks like leaning towards that B split. All the way up. That's a dash with the stun.
You should run.
Still active here for Ardis. Wants to try and clear tower. Stella doing the most. Yet he is locked in his position. When the attacker's locked down, he needs to take a fight. He needs to push through, and it's going to be watched for. Doesn't gain another one. Not for his troubles. Bang trying to vacate. He won't be able to find any easy path out of there.
But this is the uncomfortable territory now for NRG. They've allowed 100 Thieves to do that Halls push, and this is where their retakes look decent. Crashy's positioning, though, I think should win them the round.
They're all from main. Orbital strikes while pushing them back. Cut up, crossed up, Cryo dashes forwards, but I mean, Derek just can't push forwards. He can't wade his way through the ultimate. Left alone in this 1v2. And it's that post-plan positioning. Crashy's holding close. The crossfire setup's just too damn strong. NRG have a complete understanding of how 100 Thieves want to play this map.
They do, utterly. They read that triple push, and they know in their bones that Canteen and Generator have nobody there. Because they've watched the VODs, they know what it is. There is always Cryo with Asuna and Derek as a triple push coming through halls. If the push is coming from that direction, those three players are gonna be there.
Right here.
And 7-1 the lead.
Right here.
Ops on both sides now. Though Ardis has Blade Storm if things get funky. Cryo's gonna look for the re-peek. He needs a first kill here.
Crossing over. Crashes is already on that deeper angle. He's holding for the jump spot. Does he even realize this?
There's no way.
I mean, an angle here. Still, the door is open. Deep flash gives a bit of info, but I don't think they expect Crashes to be here. I mean, will it make a difference?
That deep flash tells Crashies they don't know he's there. So you could see Crashies try and walk up on them. At the moment, though, happy to be patient, hoping that Cryo is just going to swing a little deep.
He knows the door's still open. Oh my goodness.
And suddenly, Cryo realizes, I was holding the wrong angle the whole time.
Yeah, pushed back. So got the operator though. With the Trailblazer used, it's a big tool to try and push an operator off that angle still. 45 seconds left now. NRG taking their sights over towards a different section, towards B main. 100 Thieves are still holding close, though. Derek's inside the smoke in case they decide to contact. He hears the orb being picked up, so now he's got to know. But when is this going to be fading? Well, being used up close, holding straight to them. Double updraft play, they spam it out. Still Ardis over the top. Nana Swarm at his feet. Can't remain rooted, can't remain stationary, and he will not. With the right click clearing a way through, a path is gained. But with 15 seconds left, an opportunity for 100 Thieves. Can they deny this? No! Flick to the side, bang is met. Onto the head, though. Operator versus operator, a bit of a sniper battle.
Finesse positioning, good in the post plant. Cryo looking for it.
Trying to retake this one with the orb, the angle.
Last player standing.
Take it to the side, watching it, a wide swing from Finesse. Any sort of danger in the round just evaporated.
And after an incredibly rocky beginning to Americas, NRG look like they are dismantling one of their biggest rivals for those bottom playoff spots.
Yeah.
Just to reiterate again how important this is, NRG are up against some of their most massive rivals, 100 Thieves, Furia, these kind of teams fighting for their life just to make it into playoffs currently. And 100 Thieves came off the back of a major win against Leviathan that looked like they were going to have the momentum and save their season. Suddenly, they are getting punched in the mouth. NRG just know everything.
2-0 loss in this fashion would be dire.
Yeah.
In terms of the grander scheme of things for the playoffs as well. Still,
Not
deep push
just-
that arcade.
Not just because it would push 100 Thieves to 3-3, but also because they would lose the head-to-head against one of their big rivals if it comes down to a tiebreaker.
If the maps ends up being as one-sided as this, the round differential also might start to play a part.
This is dangerous.
Stella's crossed here. They don't seem to be aware at all. Swings wide. What a landing.
That was an insane spray transfer from Som.
I got the spike.
He got 2 in that situation and has actually recovered it for NRG.
Hey, he's done well there. More than well. A lot was asked of him, and he stepped up to the task. Still, Crashies this whole time been contacting through, and now he's going to be making the call. The comm. Guys, the A site looks pretty clear. I've got it watched. I've got it angled. And Bang was just opening himself up there. Just seemed none the wiser that that A-Halls push could have been even a reality. But could this still be turnable?
They've got the weapons.
Derek's got the ult. Rolling Thunder to try and cleave their way through into the site. Open up a path. Down to the side here, Aftershock. Clears the coast corner, Asuna. Opens himself up, he's able to take an easy fight, but here's the danger of this one. Rolling Thunder, to push them back. Victor, does he have Nana Swarms on that spike? That's the question. Not in sight, starting to tap this one, pushing forwards, Asuna taking the fight, half under the fuse, sticking it through, no, gets off of it, trying to double play it. Derek, you need to win this fight out, and it's not likely. Crashy standing up, taunting the opposition, because he knows. Oh, he knows. Ice cold, 3 in a round, contains it down, and this lead is insurmountable.
That's another unlosable situation for 100 Thieves. I know that they had a bad eco heading into the round, and they did an amazing job even making it winnable, yes. But to find yourself in that clutch scenario when you're pretty confident, the breach ult has hit both of them, and Derek doesn't trust Asuna, doesn't stick, gets off at half. They'll be kicking themselves in the VOD review sessions after this game. It is going to be heartbreak in the 100 Thieves camp if it carries on like this.
And now you're seeing a bit of desperation. Full containment, 100 Thieves. They want to try and Rolling Thunder and fight this one aggressively with the Seekers. Split its way through.
Spike down, B.
Well, look at that. Still, NRG, how are they winning this fight?
Victor just ran in.
I mean, it's just absurd.
He just ran in and killed 3 of them. It's another round where 100 Thieves should be favored, and it's all slipped away.
They had a full convergence just watching that arcade push. 100 Thieves winning the necessary fights, but I mean, I gotta see that from Victor's perspective. He just wins that out just by wading through and left up to Stella. Util's gonna get triggered. He has the spike, so he gets that plant down. Or let's should say Som here. Getting the plant down. Locked into the close corner. Zella's got to try and find one of these fights. He hears the jump spots. We know Som located, spots the other one. So now it's going to be noted, yet still doesn't win the fight. I mean, confidence from Victor. 4 for him.
Last round before
How
the
did he
switch.
open that one up? I mean, give me a glimpse at least. I mean, that was just ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a crazy one. Take a look at the replay here. He just walks
through.
B main. Obliterates the players trying to swing through the smoke to trade it.
Unbelievable.
But also, working off the distraction, the whole of 100 Thieves focused on arcade because that's where the vast amount of the NRG players are. And normally, Victor's playing quite passively in those spots. I mean, this is over.
Yeah.
This is over. 100 Thieves, their only major rounds they've won in this whole match were Cryo's 1v4 and Asana's 1v2. What, they won a couple sprinkling pistols in
Right
between?
up close. No way, not like this. What? Why not? Spectre straight into the smoke. Who knows what targets we were aiming for, but 2 kills claimed, so an advantage is found. But if that's what it's take, Josh, I mean, even when 100 Thieves are set up like this, they haven't been able to close out the rounds.
Well, it's not just that they have a
right
player
here.
advantage, but actually on the A site, it's still a 2v3 for 100 Thieves. They're not confident in the information that the Killjoy utility has given them on B, and they're not confident playing retake on that side, so Derek's gonna be on the other side of the world.
And this has really been slowed down, waiting out the smokes. Now you see it. The time to strike. Laid down. Spam through to try and catch the cross there, but you have to give up the side. And as that spike goes down, it's not planted for a post-plan crossfire setup from Horse and Drop. Now you see the lockdown, but it's going to be an orbital strike. Yeah, and that's used in response of it. Clears it out. 100 Thieves are aware of this, though. They weren't standing close. They just give it the space. Wait it out now, but Finesse. Oh, Finesse. Flash through to clear this one, and timing is absolutely everything here. No one looking to the side. Close into the corner, stunned up. Som still not being cleared, and a fight being taken, split apart at the seams. Som still claims 2, just close, but it's not planted for them. Sticking, diffusing all the way through, but being swarmed from every angle, and he can't get it through. 11 rounds. 1 is all 100 Thieves will get.
Player standing.
Another
Switching
3v4,
sides.
another player disadvantage situation, another victory for NRG.
Just
This is
insane. Yeah, this is just insane. Well, for more on NRG's prior struggles in the first few weeks on stage, let's hear it from Ardis himself.
We started off playing too like perfect, basically. So now we're 1-3. We had the talk, we had a big talk as a team, and we understood that we're 1-3 guys. Like we need to change something up. And Pujon said, like, listen, like just start taking more risks. Like we need to start doing something because the way we obviously were playing, if we continue playing the way we were, obviously it wasn't going to work out. So we need to change, and I think it's helped out for this game. But to be honest, I think the real test will be next week against 100 Thieves. So I think that'll be the real game.
Well, talk about a real test. They've passed this one with flying colours. It's 11-1 the half, and NRG's move to going to exploitative play, anti-strating, the players on comfort positions, playing aggressively off each other but in a coordinated manner. I mean, that is working beautifully. And talking about crashes, the last time the last time that NRG even played on Fracture was that game against Loud, crazy moment where they had multiple ways of being able to close it out. Crashes had 33 kills in 34 rounds, and yet they heartbreakingly lost in OT as Kawanseen hit the 1v3 to eliminate them from lock-in. NRG, since then, have been avoiding the map. And you said it at the beginning, Brent, and I echoed that sentiment. The map pool looked like 100 Thieves could have run away with this on map 2 and map 3 because they've been favoring Fracture and NRG haven't. But that prep work and the fact that they've been in the lab waiting for this moment, oh, it's just paid dividends.
The fire's been lit underneath NRG. You can feel it. I mean, just even in the interview, Ardis, the frustration on some of these players' faces, you know, coming out of the fact that they are leaning at the bottom of that, you know, standings when it comes to the middle of the pack, aiming for that playoff spot. They understood the importance of this matchup here. 100 Thieves are going to be one of their competitors when it comes to later down the line as we're heading deeper and deeper into the Americas League. We're already halfway through, and you're seeing that importance play out, but Yeah, it was a necessary win for both of these teams, I think, to just make it that much more doable, to land in that top 6 as we look forward to that playoffs.
And we heard Derek say earlier, when talking about NRG, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And both of these teams have had such a storied run so far, just through 2023. 100 Thieves started awfully, looked like they were going to recover. Big upset win over LATAM. And now, if they get the pistol, that'll only be the second that they've won on Fracture.
See if there's a way to rally back here for 100 Thieves, but NRG might just be trying to compete for one of the most one-sided maps that we've seen in the Americas thus far. Already a grand start, a grand opening. But spamming into the common positions, Victor's dealt with what is that by Ardis? The adjustment, the flick to the side, warbang in play, damage being done, shot doesn't land. Stella survives, but now he is just being picked apart. Flash, not connecting down to Asuna. It's a 1v2 to win the pistol, to have any chance of this one. Wider swing, you can feel it. It's all being applied, and it's NRG who win it out.
All smiles on the faces of NRG, and for 100 Thieves, they are going to be reeling. There was a great interview, Brent. Stella with Sage Tatooine for Esports Illustrated. After they beat LATAM, Stella said, "This was the best match we've played in a month. It's a big relief to have your emotions so high after that upset result, and coming in here against NRG, believing you can do it, seeing that path to playoffs, and then losing potentially 13-1 here on Fracture. I mean, it just puts you straight back in the dumps. The emotional roller coaster will be so difficult for 100 Thieves to handle, even looking towards future matches.
Because this has just been crushing. Sheer domination. Cheeky peek by Finesse. Gets good information though, but oh, it's looking all but done.
100 Thieves are going to go for one last desperate effort with the force buy, but their attack side would just have to be utterly perfect from here on out. And even that would only get them to OT.
Yeah. For NRG, I think they are happy. Bad beginning to their season, to the split in the Americas. Former Kings of North America. Drop down, you know, it's uncomfortable territory for that core of that old Optic squad, but the preparation is clear, made manifest, and we're witnessing it right now with that scoreline. Still 100 Thieves attempting to battle back, scraping back. It's got to be one round at a time, and it's got to be here. It's got to be now. Fights taken, fights won. So the first piece of the puzzle sorted.
Smoke's down.
Good post-plant position as well. Full containment there towards Halls and drop. Even a couple of players onto the side.
I've just seen so many favored situations slip away from this team.
No way. Straight there onto Som. 2 versus 3. The position is noted. Stella needs to be that last extra element in this round now. Aftershock clears out the corner. You know they can't stand their ground, but it's good util to push them back. Even still, a double face as well. Fights a 1 out. So, like I said, Josh, first piece of the puzzle is sorted, but
this place is nice.
It's a 1,000-piece jigsaw at this point, mate. I mean, good luck.
Yeah, and they got 2 minutes to solve it. I mean, it's a physical impossibility, I would say. NRG have just looked too good today. I think these final rounds, you have to believe, because that's your job to believe. But at the same time, it's about getting the confidence building for the next time, so that you look back at a game like this and you don't just think you got wrecked. It's about making the scoreline respectable and giving yourself real tangible things that you can improve on, rather than just going back into the VOD review and thinking, well, what
that was
take
15
away from
minutes.
This? Yeah.
That was a short one. Derek watching the push. Double swing up. Oh my goodness, the shot's okay. No kill found, but okay, well, yeah. All right, watching us back, why not? Timmy.
The fans will like that one.
Yeah.
Good one, Timmy.
The 6 man.
Get him.
Honorary. Push it forwards. That's a flawless.
It is, yeah. Now NRG are going to get their rifles back. What a way as well, Brent. Something we didn't touch on. What a way for these two cores of these teams to clash for the first ever time. blew my
really
mind.
touched on that, have we?
Blew my mind when I was thinking about that this morning. That the two cores of these teams, despite being competitive within North America,
Yeah.
they did not play against each other all last year.
Which is just insane.
The last time that Derek played against NRG, Derek was playing for Rise. Anyone remember that team?
Oh, 2021 LCQ, yeah.
A long, long time ago. And then they just haven't clashed since then. They never ran into each other. Different groups, didn't meet in playoffs. And for 100 Thieves, I feel like they've just been mentally out of this game since they lost that 5v2 in, I don't even know what round it was, round 6 or something.
Yeah.
They've just fallen to pieces.
Because the game plan has not worked.
No.
Look back at all of that first half, you know, it's night and day compared to the last time they were playing Fracture. The game plan was dismantled, pushed back, and they knew exactly when Cryo had the operator as well, and now it's a sheer-faced cliff, I think, is what they really have to try and climb round at a time, one at a time. It's the mentality you got to have here, but plenty of opportunities for NRG to close this one out in a 2-0 fashion, which would be huge for them. Again, those playoff implications playing out, they'd love it.
Yeah, not only does it put NRG in a great spot with their win-loss record, but like I said before, they would win their head-to-head against 100 Thieves if they both end about 4 and 5. They would have a better map differential, potentially amazing round differential, as long as they can close things out early. And this is a great chance. Before any ults come on board, can NRG shut this down?
Orbs being picked up, bit of pressure applied there. They break the turret towards Arcade and even send in a flash for good measure. Trying to fake like they are, leaning over towards that B side. But Sommer's holding. Pixel angle, ADS, and well, doesn't quite land the shot, but can't blame him for that one. It was a tough one.
He's just looking to get info and escape.
I've got your trail.
The Seeker's going to be offloaded now, pushing into the side. This is going to be a fast play. 100 Thieves, risks could be opened up right now. Dash over the top. Stun is landed. A bit of running gun is what's necessary. Yet NRG. Oh my word.
Spike down A.
4 survive. We're still at the last one standing. It's up to him. And too much to do. 13 to 3. One of the most one-sided maps we've seen. Not the most one-sided yet. NRG win it in a 2-0 fashion.
And I think it's very poetic, Brent, that it ends with Finesse gunning down Stella in the back. Because this game felt like Finesse completely deconstructed the 100 Thieves game plan. There were no adaptations that 100 Thieves could come up with. Downloaded, read, dismantled. Finesse and the rest of NRG just looked phenomenal. Back in their own home ground, their stomping ground of Bind, and on a map that they've historically been amazing at, but haven't really showcased it at any point in VCT Americas. Their Fracture looked sublime. I think we'll have to see whether their Fracture looks as good against other teams, because to me, this was very anti-strat heavy.
Yes.
But huge credit to them. They put the prep work in to win probably the most important game of NRG's season so far, and they didn't just win it. This was like the Loud versus Furia game, where a top team, a historically god-tier team, has some plucky upstart looking to come towards them, and they sit them down.
Shut them down entirely. Showmanship going to be exchanged here with a fist bump, so NRG setting themselves up very nicely with this 2-0 win, as we've already been mentioning over and over again. The head-to-head, the matchup going their way. Building up the round differential, they did their homework. Straight A's across the board.
Looking forward in NRG's schedule as well. They play against Furia. If NRG are in this form, Furia's a winnable opponent. Then Loud, we get to see the NRG Loud clash once more. Could be an epic game. And then EG to close it out. NRG are in a rough spot. They knew that they were in a tough spot, but it looks like they've put in the work to recover their season. The path is there. It's right before them. And that first step, possibly the most difficult one, they took it emphatically.
Absolutely. We'll see if that form continues as well. heading deeper and deeper into the split, because at the end of the day, it isn't a long season, Josh. It's not a tournament, you know? You don't have to start strong right off the rip. NRG showcasing that ever so slightly as well, evening it out. But that's going to do it for the first series of the day. Of course, let's send it back down to GB in a desk to break it all down. We'll see you in just a few.
Thank you so much, fellas. And NRG looking dominant out there in the streets, man. They are pounding. Unfortunately for 100 Thieves, that means that they are going to lose 0-2. NRG straight up domination right out of the gate here. Golden Boy alongside with Mimi as well as Sean Garris. And let's go ahead and just break it all down and talk about what we just saw. Because really, you know, I feel bad for 100 Thieves, but goodness gracious, the dismantling that NRG just did here, Mimi.
This is the game that NRG needed to win, and they dominated it. It's returning to the NRG of old, where they scored was always that top squad in North America, and they're playing like it. You heard at that halftime about Ardis talking about the fact that they were trying to play too perfect. They were making all these simple mistakes, and since last week, they've just gone back to the fundamentals. What works for them? And what works is fantastic calling from Finesse, and finally roles that make sense.
Dear God, that calling on the attack half was phenomenal. 11-1 first half, and the one round that they lost was the bonus, that they stuffed the tree aggression, so it went all the way back to arcade, and it just so happened to catch a one-on-one against the Killjoy. So I even think that round from 100 Thieves was fortunate. That was a flawless performance out of NRG. I don't even know what to make out of that. They're so much better than 100 Thieves right now, it looks like.
Yeah, well, it's reflected obviously in the scoreboard, and heck, I'd even go as far as to say we were even seeing that right out of the gate, Mimi, because this pistol round starts us off.
It instantly started with this perfect call from Finesse to full fake towards this A site. It's the same util pattern that they throw when they go for these A execs, and 100 Thieves completely bites onto it. Everyone is rotating over to this site, and NRG just waltz into a completely free B site and end up winning out the post fight in pretty strong order. You see, even there, as the players are walking up, there's still another layer, another Skydog to further sell it.
God, yeah, there's just so many places where I feel like FNS had his fingerprints on this game. And this call on the pistol, just abusing the fact that 100 Thieves are a quick rotating team. You know, they're gonna stack this A site. They even did rounds where they aggressively took defenders spawn instead of taking the site, because 100 Thieves has been known to push the extremities. So many little plays I think NRG did here just shows the depth of this team.
It shows the preparation, too. They knew when those south side pushes were going to come. The reactions were instantaneous across both maps. On top of that, NRG is also looking like they might be one of the squads, yet again, who can be innovating, playing the Viper Harbor for the first time that we've seen it on Bind and looking incredible there. This is the NRG that people have been waiting for.
Yeah, I think that's a great call there, like the innovating. We are used to NRG being the team that innovates metas and really is like kind of the tastemakers of Valorant, if you will, especially in the Americas region. But I think what these guys needed to do was just go back to being the tastemakers of their squad, you know, go back to just focusing on what makes you great, and we saw that play out right there. Speaking of great, Crashies, as a matter of fact, is someone that we're definitely gonna have to talk to, because my boy was out there, Sean, on a few heaters. He was destroying. It felt like whenever he was on screen, Crashies was getting a kill.
Yeah, it seemed like he was involved in a lot of the late round heroics, like the one you just saw on the 4th round, right after the bonus. He wins 2-on-4 in the site. Just this post plant here from main.
And he got off of it too. He could have held that.
Yes, there were so many scenarios that Crashies just brought home for NRG in the late rounds. So good on the initiator role.
And with this team playing more Harbor Viper like we saw on Bind, and playing more heavy kind of mid-round game plan like they used to on Optic all the time, the initiator player is so important.
Yeah.
The information that Crashies is providing in the mid-round, and also just the way that he was setting Ardis up when he was on the Duelist, or his longtime duo in Victor when he was on the Raze, was fabulous on top of his individual performance.
Yeah, I thought he was actually getting more value out of the Guiding Lights than I saw on the other side with Asuna, which is something rare to say. I think Asuna gets a lot of information from his birds on Sky, but I thought Victor, just the positioning on taking main, how he's using birds to get false info at main, I thought it was just such a well-called game by NRG.
Everything that you could possibly ask for, NRG delivered. But for now, though, let's go ahead and send it down to the stage, because we have Doug standing by with Crashies for the Verizon post-match interview.
Thank you, Golden Boy. Crashies, congratulations on a win. There's a lot to talk about. I want to take us all the way back to map 1. Bind, literally the first day, the first match, the first map, and you guys busted out. I know that it hadn't been in the rotation. Did you feel like there was from a preparation perspective, much different when it came to preparing for the map and getting it into your arsenal?
Not really. I mean, Bind was our map last year, as a lot of people know. So once it came back out, it kind of just felt natural once again. We tried a few comps, and yeah, the Harbor Viper just felt really good for us. That gives you a lot of like utility that you can retake with, and yeah, it just felt amazing to play again, honestly.
Given the comp that you just mentioned, the Harbor Viper, and how oppressive it can feel like it is on other maps, did you struggle with it in scrims? Did it take a little while to implement it into your system, or was it pretty plug and play?
I mean, Sam is a really good Harbor player, so it kind of was just a plug and play. Yeah, it just felt super natural to us, and yeah.
I want to ask you a bit about your calling, because Finesse gets a lot of credit for the calling, but it seemed like your mid-round calling, the entire team's mid-round calling this series was exceptional. Can you give me a little bit of insight into what that process is like behind the scenes? Is it primarily Finesse? Is it leading by committee? What's that like?
Yeah, so I mean, FNS does the main job of it, and then it's kind of up to me and Victor, depending on what we see or what, I mean, we're entering together. So based on info we get or noise that we hear, we'll make a mid-round call or tell FNS something, and he'll make a call based on that. But yeah, I mean, it's mainly FNS, and we're just kind of supporting him.
You guys ran circles around 100 Thieves today, most notably seen in that last map. Were you expecting a stomp that bad? Were you guys just in a flow state? What happened?
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting a stomp that bad. Once we won a few of the clutch rounds, it definitely felt like we were in the flow state, and FNS was just calling amazing at that point. So it's super easy to get kills and, you know, run circles around them. And yeah, props to FNS because he was calling amazing.
And the last question for you, you guys get a massive head-to-head win over 100 Thieves. You still have a couple of weeks going off left in the season, and it was a rocky start. Perhaps you guys took L's that nobody expected you to take. Do you feel like there's been a drastic change in the last couple of weeks that's made a difference, or what is it that's leading to this success? I
mean, yeah, as you guys saw, we went back to our original roles. We were testing a lot because it's a normal season, so we wanted to see if we could, you know, try innovative stuff, try new roles. Unfortunately, we lost a lot of close games, and I mean, we can't lose anymore, so we just went back to what worked at lock-in, and yeah, I mean, we've been dominating.
It looks like it's working, and I hope that it continues to work. Best of luck.
Thank you.
For the rest of the season. We're going to throw it to a break. When we return, the battle of the Brazilian squads between MIBR and Furia. We'll be right back.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Week 5. Today, 4 teams try to find their footing and forge a path to Tokyo. 100 Thieves versus NRG. Let's get it on.
Positioning, it's not good. Cryo constantly having to adjust. He's finding his ones. What? One more down. Still finds the fourth. Unbelievable. Jumping straight up. You've got to be taking these fights clean, though, and it doesn't look just that likely. The frenzy's in their face. NRG. So many things to be dealt with on top of the wall. Trying to watch for it, drops down. It's NRG to get themselves onto that 12th round. What a masterclass.
NRG back to comfort territory. The Kings of Bind, they keep it going.
Behind the dice, though. That's what they'll strike, but it's that pincer. Safe hands from Derek. 3 in a round forward. Might potentially open himself up there to many, many angles, but backs away to safety. Now a flash as well, pushing him back, comes out of this. Oh my word. Yeah! Sticking it through, no, gets off of it, trying to double play it. Derek, you need to win this fight out, and it's not likely.
You're trash!
And too much to do, 13-3. One of the most one-sided maps we've seen, not the most one-sided yet. NRG win it in a 2-0 fashion.